Hey guys, Jim Cornetti from the Sports Node. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this one today. The very stark contrast as opposed to the Wise Guys show going on tonight, which we'll talk about here on the back end. But it is Saturday, June the 18th. Lots happened really since the last time we got together like this. The Warriors won the NBA championship, the Guardians are surging, and the College World Series is underway, which is always one of the more entertaining postseason things that the NCAA does because it's always double elimination. I want to take you guys on a trip down my personal memory lane. The date was May 26, 1993. I had turned 15 years old 2 days before, and my dad had taken my brother, my grandfather, and about three or four of my friends to Cleveland Municipal Stadium the very last year that it was open for an Indians game against the Texas Rangers. And now none of us could have actually prepared ourselves for what happened. First of all, the Indians ended up winning that game 7-6, which was monumental in and of itself because we had been on like a 3 or 4 not game but year losing streak in going to games at the old stadium. We were like that with the Cavs. We were like that with the old Lumberjacks, which were a minor league team that used to play at the Richfield Coliseum for a number of years. But in the bottom of the fourth inning, Carlos Martinez, not any way, shape, or form related to the Carlos Martinez for my St. Louis Cardinals, although how ironic would that be, hits a long fly ball to deep right field. The Texas Rangers outfielder is one Mr. Jose Canseco. And I think you all know where this is headed. Canseco misplays the ball, backs up to the wall, realizes he's out of real estate, misplays the fly. The ball goes off of his head and ricochets over the wall, and Martinez is credited with a home run. We actually tried to get the security guards to let us into the bleachers because there were only about 14,000 people, and we were one of the group of us. I want to say there were about 8 or 9 of us. There were really not a whole lot of people out in the right field bleachers that night. We tried to actually get them to let us into the bleachers to be able to go get the ball. Well, the problem is that the bleachers were locked during baseball season. They were only open for 2 things: Cleveland Browns home games, because that's where the dog pound was, and concerts. The few stadium shows that came through Municipal Stadium way back when, just like what they do now at First Energy Stadium or any of your major football stadiums. For your marquee acts, your Elton Johns, your Billy Joels, your Garth Brooks, etc. But we couldn't get in because they couldn't get the keys, and we didn't actually want to wait around another hour and a half, for all of that chaos, even though there wouldn't have been any, trouble getting out for parking that night because it would have been no more than a Cavaliers game that night. But on the opening day of the College World Series for the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Stanford Cardinal, and no, I'm not wearing red as irony. Technically, the College World Series opened last night, but for the opening game of these 2 teams, they nearly replicated the issue. First pitch of the game, with Arkansas at the plate, Braden Webb crushes a ball to right field, and we actually see that the center fielder, Braden Montgomery of Stanford, is backing up and backing up and backing up, and then whereas Canseco had his hand behind him, a la like this, trying to feel out the wall, Montgomery didn't so much do that. Montgomery actually had his glove up ready to catch, did not position himself back, slams back first into the wall to the point where it adjusts his body positioning, and the ball, much like Canseco, goes off his head, although the only saving grace here is that the ball ricochets into right center field, which actually allows Webb with his speed to get all the way to third base, although the throw made it a lot closer of a play than it should have been. But again, that actually would have been something that would have put Montgomery right up there with Canseco for one of the biggest gaffes of all time. And this is actually, these are the kind of plays that you hope don't really happen in the College World Series, because again of how exciting it is and how many great walk-offs we've had over recent years, and that perfect game that was pitched by Vanderbilt a couple of years ago that I actually wrote about in this blog. The only other time I think I've ever touched on college baseball. It's a good thing for Stanford that this is also the opening game, and that occurs, kind of get all the kinks out, because Stanford actually came in 47-16 in this, and they are the number 2 team in the country going into this, after Notre Dame, as we all read on ESPN, CBS, etc., was actually upset top-ranked and top-seeded Tennessee in the Super Regional in Knoxville. 5 of the 8 teams in the College World Series are coming out of the SEC, and that would actually make Arkansas, that would make Ole Miss, Auburn, and the other 2 are eluding me at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing this live, so to speak, but the entire bottom half, actually 3 of the 4 teams in the bottom half of the brackets, where this Arkansas and Stanford game are going on, are out of the SEC. So it just shows you just how dominant they just don't have to be as a football conference. Just with their dominant. This is actually now, if an SEC team were to win it all, this would mark 3 consecutive years that an SEC team has won the College World Series. This would actually mean this would be Mississippi State having won last year. Remember, 2020 was canceled, and then we had Vanderbilt in 2019. And then if you even want to go a step further, Florida winning in 2017. So this would mark 4 out of 5 if the FCC is able to come through with this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. Let me know, have you seen the play? And join us tonight for the Wise Guys Sports Show with my partner Mike Martinez. We are going to have on a very special guest. Her name is Natalie Turk. She is the Sports Illustrated beat reporter for the Cleveland Guardians. We're actually going to we're going to talk about a couple of things, but mainly we want to get her opinion on the new revelations that have occurred with the Deshaun Watson scenario, scandal, whatever you want to call it. So tune in for that again tonight at 8:30 on Mike's channel, and we hope to see all of you guys there. Take care.